Hey everybody, welcome to RPM, Rock and Pop Mandolin, your site for learning classic rock and pop songs and that lovely little 8-stringed instrument. In this video, we're taking another crack at mandolin gear talk. And this time we're going to talk about, building a mandolin pedal board like this one. This is the one that I use when I play live. I'll explain the various effects that I have here on this very simple pedal board, only 3 pedals really. But I'll tell you how they can enhance your live sound when you're playing with your mandolin, either with your live band or with a solo act by yourself, or maybe with somebody else as a duo situation. All right, so that'll be coming up in a few minutes. But first, if you're new to the channel, thanks very much for checking us out. But don't forget to hit that little red subscriber button on your way out. Really helps us to continue to grow this channel. If you are a returning subscriber, thanks very much for coming back. But don't hesitate to check out the links down below in the description box. I have various links down there, including the links to Sweetwater and Amazon, where you can pick up effects for your pedal board, just like these. And there are other links down below as well, including the link for my Learn Rock and Pop Mandolin video series. Also down below, a link to our Patreon page. If you're looking for tabs or other types of video lessons, that's the place to go. I have nearly 100 mandolin tabs over there now for rock and pop songs. Many of them not available anywhere else on the internet. That's right, they are exclusive tabs, and I know because I've done them. I've created them. And I've tried to find some other tabs like that on the internet, and I haven't been able to find them. So they are exclusive to our Patreon page. The link is down below. But that's enough business. Let's take a look now at building a mandolin pedal board, mandolin gear talk, here on RPM. All right, as I mentioned, we're going to take a look at building a simple mandolin pedal board. Again, this is mine, and I'll show you how it works in action in a minute here, but I only have 3 pedals. It's very simple, and really that's all I need, and it's a very simple pedal board case that I take with me when I play gigs. But these 3 pedals are the ones that I found work really well for my situation, which is playing mandolin with a rock band. So these pedals help me to cut through the mix and to be heard over top of those instruments when necessary, and also to back off and blend in with those instruments when necessary. All right, so I'll set up the pedal board for you here, and I'll show you how all of them work and how I use them in my setup. All right, just before I get set up with my pedal board though, I just wanted to explain the reason why I use pedals and why I use a built-in pickup on my mandolin rather than a microphone like this one here when I play live. This is called a condenser mic, and although it works really well for me for my YouTube videos, I don't use it when I'm playing live. And that's because, again, I'm playing with a band that's a little louder, perhaps, than just an acoustic duo, and I find that these feed back too much. That's the number 1 problem with a condenser mic when you're playing live, in my opinion. Number 2, with a condenser mic, you're kind of stuck playing in front of this microphone for the whole night. You can't move around. In fact, you can't even move away too far, or the microphone won't pick you up, all right? So that's another reason why I don't use a condenser mic. And finally, when you're using a condenser mic, your sound is kind of out of your hands. It's up to whoever's doing the sound and the mix at the soundboard, right? And, they can add effects, outboard effects at that point. But I'd rather control my own sound, and I can do that by using a pickup in my mandolin fed through my board, my pedal board, and then into the PA or an amplifier. All right, so let's start off with my signal processing chain. Of course, I have the mandolin here. I have a K&K sound pickup installed on the inside of this mandolin. All right, that's a really nice transducer pickup that picks up the vibrations of your mandolin, sends it out through here where you can plug in a guitar cable into the hole on the side of the mandolin. All right, now let's take a look at the mandolin pedal board, which is my in-between between the mandolin and the PA or amplifier that will produce my sound ultimately for a stage situation. Okay, so you can see my pedal board. On the right there, I have what's called an LR Baggs Para Acoustic DI. The Para Acoustic DI LR Baggs. In the middle, I have an Ibanez Mini Tube Screamer, the green pedal in the middle there. And then finally on the left, the red pedal, TC Electric or TC Electronics Hall of Fame reverb pedal. All right, I'm going to explain all three of these now and maybe give you a little bit of a demonstration. Okay, the LR Baggs pedal, I really love that one. And I would say of all three of my pedals, or of any of my pedals, that's the most important pedal that I have. And the reason is because when you use a transducer pickup with your mandolin, I tend to find that the sound is a little bit thin. It's a little bit shrill. The mandolin is already kind of trebly, and when you just use a pickup situation alone, the sound tends to be a little bit harsh to my ears. So the LR Baggs Para Acoustic DI really helps to enhance your sound. All right, so you can see there are various controls there on the Para Acoustic DI pedal, and basically it really helps you to add bass and mid-range to your mandolin and maybe cut back on the high frequencies and just give yourself a nice balanced mandolin sound. There's also a really cool feature on there that is called a notch filter, and that helps you to notch out any feedback frequencies, any frequencies that are feeding back when you're playing live. You can notch them out and get rid of them, which is really cool as well. So I use that Para DI as my first stage on my pedal board. The second stage on my pedal board is that little green tube screamer. I'll get to that one in a minute. Let's skip over that to my third pedal, which is the red one on the left. That one is my Hall of Fame reverb pedal. And again, you're going to say, well, don't you have reverb on a mixing board when you play live? And yeah, that is true. And sometimes when we have reverb, I don't use that Hall of Fame reverb pedal. I just leave it off. But I like having the ability to change my reverb styles. There are various reverb settings on there, including a room setting, a spring setting, and so on, that allow you to dial in the type of reverb and the amount of reverb that you want to use. All right, so that is a really, really effective pedal. All right, and in the middle, I have my green Ibanez Mini Tube Screamer. And you're going to say, what? You're using a tube screamer? Why would you use a tube screamer? Isn't that for electric guitarists? And yeah, for the most part, it is for electric guitarists. But I have found for my mandolin playing that I really like this pedal used as just a little bit of an overdrive pedal. You can see I have the gain turned all the way down. That little gain function in the middle there is turned all the way almost to off. So it's not giving me any kind of overdrive or distortion, but it is giving me a slight boost. And that really helps when I need to jump forward for a solo during one of our songs. So generally I leave it off, but if I'm going to do a solo, I will step on that pedal, the Mini Tube Screamer, to give me just a slight boost so I can cut through the mix for the solos that I'm playing. Okay, and let's take a look at some of these pedals in action. First, I'm just going to go straight through the amplifier into my home recording setup here, just to give you an idea on what the mandolin sounds like by itself. All right, you can really see that the LR Baggs pedal warms up your tone. It gives you some bottom end, some mid-range, and again, you can roll off some of the highs just to balance your sound and really creates a sweet sounding mandolin, in my opinion, when playing live. All right, let's take a look at the next pedal, which is the Tube Screamer. And here, I'm just going to use the Tube Screamer to demonstrate a little bit of a solo, just to show you how it jumps out a little bit louder than normal. First, I'll play without it. So here's the solo without it. You can see there's just a slight difference in tone there. What I like about it as well, this Mini Tube Screamer, is it gives you a little bit more bite to your mandolin soloing. You know, mandolin soloing in a rock song, the mandolin can sound a little thin and a little, plunky, I guess, for lack of a better phrase. while it works for bluegrass and other types of music and jazz and stuff like that, really, if you're playing a rock song like, Guns N' Roses, you really want a little bit more tone. You really want something that sounds, well, a little bit heavier, I guess. And that slight boost gives you that heaviness that allows your solos to cut right through the mix, as I said before. And now here's the mandolin through the Hall of Fame reverb pedal. Again, just giving your sound a little bit of sweetness, a little bit more presence than a dry mandolin tone. All right, that's it. That is my mandolin pedal board again. And again, I just connect them all on this little pedal board configuration, which you can find in just about any music shop. And yeah, you can use Velcro to stick down some of the pedals. This one doesn't stick down very well in my board here, but that's it. That's all I need when I play live. And basically, it gives me the sound control that I want to make my mandolin sound the way it wants, the way I want when I'm playing live. So once again, if you're interested in buying any of these pedals or any other pedals, check out my links down below to Sweetwater and Amazon. You can pick up these pedals through that link, and if you do buy something there, I get a slight commission out of it as well, which helps the channel. So that's it. Good luck if you're putting together a mandolin pedal board yourself, and leave me some comments down below on what you use to enhance your sound when you play live. Thanks very much for watching once again. RPM.